Do you have an intention for shifting this evening on New Year's Eve, the day after your birthday? Happy birthday.
I definitely have an intention. So, wow, 2020 has been amazing for me. I really have transformed a lot. What I have noticed, even in some of the really cool things that I've manifested and moved through this year, um, I have a like push pull dynamic with the things that I want. I experienced it a lot or I have experienced it a lot in my relationships. And so my intention is to release like that push pull dynamic and to be able to just easily and effortlessly allow the things that I want, no matter, to your point, like how much different that may look from like what I've seen. Um, because like my intention also is to kind of embody, not kind of, but to embody the idea that, people like me have whatever they want. And so that's my intention.
Oh, there we go. Sorry. I said awesome. I love it. I'm just taking some notes here. I love it. People like me have whatever they want. And what comes to me with this is that, like, you've got to be able to trust what you want. So we'll bring some trust into that. And so everything that I'm doing right now, I just want to let you all know, like, this is something that you learn in recharge, and it may seem really like, oh my gosh, how does she do that? Like, I get these insights and I have this intuition that leads me through the process. I didn't used to have that. It all came from the recharge process. And when you go through recharge, you have the ability to do all of this yourself too. So, so, okay. All right. So we're going to, so can you tell me a little bit more about the push pull? Like, what does that look like? And where else do you see it in your life?
So like I said, I see it in my relationships. So it's like what I sense that's happening is I really do manifest like easily. And
Mm-hmm.
then sometimes like it comes so fast and it feels so good, that I subconsciously like sabotage it. So, like for example, like a week ago, I set an intention, that I wanted. Well, it was about a month ago that I set the intention. You send out a meditation that kind of inspired it, and so the goal was to manifest $30,000,
Mm-hmm.
and my intention has been to manifest that by January 16th. And so like just I've just had like an influx of clients. And it's like getting on the, I call it a connection call, like getting on the connection call, and they're pretty much like, here's my money. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and then so that's been happening, and like I'm getting like such an I guess like an influx of clients, to where like I like people will message me, and then it's like I don't know, it's like an anxious feeling.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know how to describe it. And like that anxious feeling I get usually, like some type of way, like I might say, oh, I'm gonna come back to it later. And then I realize that later is like maybe never coming back to it.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like I get it so easily and I get so close to what I really want. And then subconsciously, like I kind of like pull away from it,
Okay.
either by procrastinating. Um, Mostly that's just mostly what it is. Like I'll just not do what I know is the next step to, like have exactly what I want. And for a while I've been kind of back and forth about if I should get, a facility or not. And like one of my clients, like we were talking about it, he was just like, he's like a multimillionaire. He's like, I'll partner with you. And he was like, just make a list, of everything that it is that you need, and let's talk about it and, make it happen. I still haven't made the list.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
that's what I mean by push-pull dynamic.
Okay. So it sounds like you're running against your mental equivalent. Do you know what I mean by mental equivalent?
Absolutely. Just basically what I believe is possible, like what I believe
Mhm.
I can have. And so when I go beyond that, I kind of stop myself.
Yes. So I'm going to check in to see what your mental equivalent is, as far as like a dollar amount goes. And I'm going to check in with like a monthly
Yes.
profit. Okay. So I'm just going to start, and this is using a method to read the energy, and you just confirm, Brittany, as I do this.
Okay.
So I'm going to start with, I'm going to start low and just kind of go up to
Okay.
see. So we're checking in to see what Brittany's mental equivalent is for her monthly profit, which she receives as cash. Um, so is Brittany's maximum monthly equivalent $3,000 per month? Is it higher? Okay. Is Brittany's mental equivalent, maximum mental equivalent, $5,000 per month? I'm going to ask it a different way. Is Brittany's maximum monthly equivalent less than $5,000 a month? Is it less than $10,000 a month? Okay. Is it less than $7,000 a month? 8,000. Okay. Is her mental equivalent, is her maximum mental equivalent between $7,000 and $8,000 a month? Is her maximum mental equivalent $8,000 a month? Okay. How does that sound? Does that sound about right to you?
Yeah. So like really is like I would say between like 65 and 7. I've had a couple of months, well, a few months this year that I've made like 10 plus. But is that's I want 10 plus to be the minimum and sustainable. So to your question, average that feels about right.
Okay. All right. So this is like on a subconscious level, like what is your kind of normal, like what's your comfort zone basically?
Mm-hmm.
So currently it's, I'll just say between 6 and 8,000.
That sounds about
And it probably depends on the situation too,
right. Mm-hmm.
because we can feel sometimes more comfortable working really, 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 really hard to make more money. But if it comes easily, it's not allowed to be as much. Um, okay. All right. And so now, of course, we don't necessarily want to cap off our mental equivalent. So we're just going to say, what do you want your next level normal to be for your monthly profit? Would you say the 10,000, or like what do you want the normal to be?
I want the normal to be at least 20,000.
Okay. Okay. And that, of course, like sometimes it'll be 40, sometimes it'll be 10. Like there's cycles and fluctuations. So the average can be 20. And that's something that's really powerful, for everybody who's listening, to be able to trust the process and trust like the long game. And to know that, there are 4 seasons or more, but 4 seasons that we really recognize: winter, spring, summer, and fall. And we have those seasons in our bodies, we have those in our financial lives as well. So it's helpful for us to be okay when we have those highs and when we have those dips. And, ultimately we want to work towards having it be as level as possible. But just because there's sometimes a dip doesn't mean that things are broken, doesn't mean things aren't working, just means that's a cycle that you happen to be in. All right, so we're going to see what is holding you back from that next normal for your comfort zone, or that zone of normal, I should say. So, Brittany, if you can just kind of relax and tune into yourself. I'm just going to see, is it an emotional pattern? Does Brittany have an emotional pattern that's keeping her back from this new normal of $20,000 per month? Okay, so it's a little bit of an emotional pattern. So is that a fear? Is it shame? Okay. So it's shame. And is there a belief that's holding her back from the $20,000 a month normal? Okay, and is it a belief about how worthy she is of receiving that? And is there any other belief that's holding her back from the $20,000 normal? Okay, is there a belief about what she deserves? About her identity as a person of financial success? Okay. So there's also the identity. Okay. So we're working, there are three things that are coming up here, and we'll work on the identity right now because you had also mentioned that. So that seems like the most important thing here. Of course, it's all important, but what's interesting is all of it will be addressed as we address your identity. So does this identity of lack come from Brittany's mom? Does it come from Brittany's dad? Okay, and what I'm getting is it's like a family line. It's like you know, many generations have experienced lack, and then and I don't know, I know Brittany very well, and I don't know how much you want to share, Brittany, but there's also, you know, some situations with your dad having to do with lack. You can share some of that if you want, but I think you understand.
Yeah, I mean, I'm open. I don't have anything to like hide. Whatever's gonna contribute to the process.
Okay. So there's the financial lack, but then there's also, because your dad wasn't a part of your life.
Right.
And so, you know, that, and I actually see this quite a bit where, you know, a lot of my clients have lost their parents early on, or, you know, just have never known one of their parents. And that it creates like a hole inside of us when we have that experience, and that hole is it's an absence, it's a scarcity that it really can create this identity of lack, and it creates this habit of trying to fill that hole with something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so do we have enough information to release this now? Okay, so we do. All right, so Brittany, if you can close your eyes.
Okay.
And really tune into this identity of lack. And it's really coming up as a whole. If if you were to tune into your body and notice where where have you been carrying that hole or that lack in your body?
So whenever I tune into it, it's weird, kinda. What I'm getting is it's a hole that's like it's like in my womb, like sacral area. Then there's like a little thin string that's like connecting it to my heart.
Mm-hmm. You don't have a you don't have uh has anybody ever told you about a sister or a sibling that never made it?
Oh my God, Sarah, I'm about to cry. Oh geez. Like, okay, so maybe like I'm really getting teary. So maybe like two, oh jeez. Like this is making me emotional. Um, so maybe like 2 months ago, my best friend suggested that I get a reading from this guy. And I got the reading, and the guy said that I had a twin. That like
Yeah.
we were like it was two of us, and then I consumed the twin. So like
Mm-hmm.
the twin never like came, but
Mm.
that's what he said.
Interesting. Yeah, that's immediately what what came to my mind. But she's still with you, you know. It's like she's still with you. She's always been with you. And all right, so let's go into this a little bit more. Okay, so you said you're feeling it like in your womb, and there's a string that goes up to your heart. And what does it look like? Like if it had a form, what would that form be?
It kind of like takes it makes me think of, I don't know what this is called, but like if I had like, what is it called? It's like a old like telephone where it's like one line and then another line, and then like
Mm-hmm.
it's like two holes and it's like connected, kind of like if I had something on this side to like hear something, and then a
Mm-hmm.
line, and then like, you get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
that's what it looks like. That's what it feels like.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that's called, but I can see it clearly. It's like an old like phone, and it's like a hole, and then it's a string, and then it's connected to another hole. But it's like
Mm-hmm.
something that you would use to like hear, like get communication through.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And that's interesting. You know, everybody talks about the connection between the head and the heart,
Mhm.
but we also have our gut. Like that's our creative center. You know, our
Mhm.
womb is where we create and we breed. You know, we bring things to life.
Mhm.
And so that's a really interesting visual. So what is one way that this pattern, this identity has kept you safe? Like what's a benefit that you've had from this identity?
Oh wow. So what's coming up is it's kept me safe like sexually.
Mhm.
That's what's coming up. Like it's kept me from like being in situations that wouldn't like necessarily like honor me sexually. It's kept me from like like not being taken advantage of sexually.
Mhm. Mhm. Awesome. And you know what that's we when we bring these patterns into our life, when we create these patterns in our lives, we do it out of necessity. You know, we do it for a reason. They're born within us for a good reason.
Mhm.
And but now you're at a place where you don't need that anymore.
Mhm.
And Christy, who's a Miracle 90 graduate, and she's also going through Recharge right now. So she's very experienced with this work as well. She says, I feel Brittany has a fear of losing the success that she attains. And that's really interesting, because one visual that I got, Brittany, was it's almost like that hole. It's almost like a black hole where
Yes.
something could fall into it and never come back. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So would you like to release this now? And thank you, Christy, for sharing that.
And yes, I would like to release it. And Christy is spot on.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. Um, all right. So imagine yourself bathing in a beautiful light, the light shining down over you, over the top of your head, over your chest, your stomach, your legs. It's like you're laying down at the beach on a warm, beautiful day. And that sunshine is so soothing as it touches your skin. And it relaxes your abdomen, it relaxes your heart. And notice how that manifestation of lack that you've been carrying in your body, notice how the sun, that beam of light, wraps around that form. And it lights up that line, the connection between those two spaces. And the whole thing is wrapped in light. And notice how it rises up into the light. And watch it as it rises up from your body. And notice how easy that is. And also notice how it almost feels like somebody's holding you, cradling you, and that you don't have to do, you don't have to make any of this happen. It just happens naturally and easily. And you just observe how this identity rises up into the light and dissolves. Notice how your body feels so open now. Notice how your body feels so safe. And there has been preparation in your body for a long time. Like on a subconscious level, your higher self has been preparing you for this. It has been preparing that space in your womb and in your heart. And now that space has room to heal and to create. So, Brittany, what are you creating space for right now?
I am creating space for an amazing life partner where we can really just travel or take the journey of life together. Love unconditionally, communicate openly, create massive wealth, and just this dynamic is really rooted in um, just a really heart centered connection. Is rooted in fun and intimacy and friendship. I'm creating space for that. I'm creating space to connect with more like hearted people. I am creating space to be the first multimillionaire in my family. I'm creating space to be a world renowned body coach who creates massive impact in the lives of the women that I work with. I am creating space to live like freely and open heartedly. I'm creating space to be as sexually expressive as I desire. I am creating space to live boldly and unapologetically. I'm creating space to speak and speak to be heard and to listen to understand. I am creating space to really make a difference in this world.
Beautiful. Now, can you visualize what you've just been speaking about? Can you see it in front of you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So imagine all of that being wrapped up in a bubble. Your partner, your friendship, that love, that abundance, that impact. See it all being wrapped up in a bubble. And bring yourself to one of those moments where you start to procrastinate or you start to feel triggered by something and everything starts to dim and that bubble starts to float away. And then notice how there's a string attached to the bubble. And the string is lit up, it's glowing bright, bright white. And the string goes all the way through the top of your head, down through your chest, down through your feet, and it anchors into the ground. And imagine yourself reaching up and touching the bubble, and it doesn't pop. It's strong like a balloon, but it's transparent like a bubble. And imagine yourself walking, doing normal everyday stuff, meeting with people, walking around your house, outside. Notice how everywhere you go, that bubble is right with you. And through this cord that connects you to the bubble, feel yourself sending, it's like an umbilical cord. Feel yourself sending love through that cord and watch the love surging through the cord and entering the bubble and bathing all of these ideas, all of this inspiration with love. Feel passion rising up through that cord and entering the bubble, bathing all of your ideas and inspiration with passion. And feel trust rising up through that cord into the bubble. And notice how when these ideas and inspiration are bathing in love, passion, and trust, how they become even brighter and they come to life. And you can really feel the energy of them. You can feel it like it's happening right now, like your life partner is right next to you. You can feel the warmth. You can feel the breath. You can feel that prosperity flowing through you. You can feel what's coming to me is like the seats of the car, like your dream car. It's like you're in the car and you can feel the texture of the seats and the sound of the engine. It has like a really nice hum to it. And you can smell the delicious smell of all of it. And feel yourself pulling on that string, drawing the string in. And feel that bubble entering the top of your head, entering your mind, infusing your subconscious with the energy of everything that's in that bubble. Bring the bubble down into your eyes and feel the energy of what's in the bubble infusing your vision so that you easily see with crystal clarity all of the opportunities, all of the steps, all of the resources and the people. Bring that bubble down into your voice, down into your throat, so that you easily express from the energy of what's in the bubble. Bring it down into your heart, infusing your heart with the energy of the love, the abundance. And feel your heart vibrating with that frequency. Bring it down into your stomach, infusing all of your emotions, all of your creations with the energy of what's in the bubble. Bring it down through your legs, infusing every step. Every step you take is leading you naturally to these aligned relationships, into this abundant wealth. Notice how easy it is when you're charged with this energy, this love, this passion, this trust. Feel that circulating through your whole body. And the last part of this is we're going to up level your mental equivalent to that new normal of $20,000 a month. And for everybody else who's watching and listening, you can insert your own number. So we're going into the energy and communicating with your subconscious and with your cells and your DNA. Up leveling your normal, your mental equivalent of normal, to be at least $20,000 a month. And I just got this message, this kind of feeling from your dad of like how proud he is. And as I said that, your candle just like your candle just beamed.
Mm-hmm.
I can feel all the ancestors are so proud of you. It's like they're just cheering you on. It's like, gosh, if we knew what you know, and if we, like, they're just blown away by you. Okay. All right. So I'm going to see what our message is about this. I'm going to tap into your relationship guide. Let's see, what is your next step? What is your next step in making this a reality? Okay, we got 3 messages, and I know we're 3 minutes over our time, so I'm going to read these fairly quickly. So this is from your relationship guide. This is the Queen of Water. And it says relationships develop at a new level. Trust your intuition, care for yourself and others. All right. And you can feel free to, as I'm reading these, type in the comments what your takeaways were, what your experience was, and if anything comes up for you with these messages. The next one says, good news about financial matters, wanting to do something more challenging, a new area of study. So it's like really leveling up, and you with this identity shift, it's like leveling up your leadership and taking on a new role, like a new version of what you're already doing. It's like what's the next level of what you're doing, and leveling yourself up into that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I love this. This one says release. You're at the end of a phase or a situation, spiritual transformation, time to move on. It's so interesting. It's like, I almost feel like you've been kind of grasping on to something that was kind of keeping you in that old mental equivalent. But as you grow into this next phase, it's like it's time to say goodbye to the current role that you've been playing and step up into this next role. Does that make sense?
Oh my gosh, like I'm teary, like I'm so full. It makes perfect sense. I think for some time, like I've been afraid to be seen as the expert,
Mm-hmm.
and the universe is like, but you are. And like that's the next level, like allowing people to just really see me and to really, see my brilliance. And in terms of releasing, I think, like I'm finally at the point where I like released that 14-year relationship, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
okay, like I'm
Mm-hmm.
at peace, like it served its purpose, and I see like why it can't be like in this phase of my life, because that relationship in a lot of ways required me to be much smaller than what I am. And I realized that I'm not a traditional housewife.
Mm-hmm.
And, he needs that, he wants that, and it's okay, for him to have the experience that he wants to have. And it's okay for me to be as big and as bold, as I want to be. I need somebody who can um, walk beside me, in my boldness and in the things that I'm creating, and not feel intimidated by how powerful I am. I just feel like my old relationship required me to be that broken, 16-year-old girl that he met, and I'm far from that girl.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels really good to say that and to be at peace with it and to know that every moment, up until this point, like prepared me for this moment. It's like I was created to like do the things that I'm doing. And I couldn't even fathom being as free and as open hearted as I am in that relationship.
Beautiful. I love it. I really, really feel that for you, Brittany. Um, and I just see, like, I have this image of you and your partner, like, arm in arm,
Hmm.
climbing just a beautiful mountain, you know? And, he pushes you and you push him. It's like you
Hmm.
both have this, like the puzzle, it's like
Hmm.
he fits where um you both fit each other as
Hmm.
you go along.
Hmm.
I love it. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. This was really powerful. I hope that, everybody else, what's your biggest takeaway, Brittany, from the whole thing? I know we looked at a lot this evening.
My biggest takeaway is that it is like it's okay for me to be as soft and as flowy and as just like flexible and malleable,
Mhm.
malleable as water. And it is too okay for me to be as forceful and, if need be, as destructive and as determined as fire. Like
Mhm.
I'm both. I'm not completely feminine and I'm not completely masculine. Like I'm a beautiful blend of both.
Mhm.
And, it's okay to be powerful and it's okay to be soft and flowy and allow things to come to me. It's like whatever. And that's why water is my muse, because it can take on so many forms. And it's just like whatever I need to be to have the experience, my ears are ringing. To
Mhm.
have the experience, that I desire to have, I am it. Like like anything that I want, I'm already it. And all I have to do is just allow. Like I really do feel like in this space, and my biggest takeaway is it's okay to trust my ability to create.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. And I can really feel, um I'll ask you about this later. I'll send you a message, but I can feel it's all like materializing right now. Um, I can feel something. So let's see. I think it's Christy who said perfect balance. Thank you, Brittany. Oh,
Oh,
Katrina said that. Sorry. And Katrina said, I loved hearing, I was created to do the things that I am. Very powerful. Yeah, very powerful. So thank you so much, Brittany. I really appreciate you coming on today. This was wonderful, and I think everybody who watches this is going to benefit from your process and from your experience.
mm-hmm.
And if you're watching and you are not already doing this process, it's so powerful. This is the kind of thing that you can be doing with yourself every day. You can be doing it in the recharge journey. And I have a special offer to be able to get started for just $7. And a bunch of people have been doing that already and just diving in. So let me know. You can send me a message on Facebook, or that's probably the easiest way. I'm usually quicker at answering that than my email. So send me a message on Facebook. Um, oh, and Christy says you have a firm. Let's see. I'm trying to read the messages here. Oh, you have a firm grip on your success, relationship, and future from Christy. And
Oh, thank
Sarah,
you.
yeah. Sarah says, thank you for being so open and sharing, Brittany. I know great things are happening for you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, everybody. Have a wonderful new year. And I can't wait to see what unfolds for all of you. Feel free to post in the group or send me a message when you see things start shifting in your life. I love hearing those stories and just watching your successes unfolding. Um, so we'll talk to you soon. Have a good night.
Good night, guys.
Bye.